the SAO seen this, but I finally got my hands on one. This is what the body worn camera looks like. I'm sure some of you probably seen it on TV.
Yeah.
But this is exactly, most members will kind of have it on their chest like this. When it's blinking green, this means it's ready, and red means it's recording. And as part of our policy, which is publicly available online, we will always tell people when it's recorded. So it's just right there. You'll never not probably see it. And I can pass it around. It's kind of a neat little piece of hardware that amazes me every time I learn something about it. So, you know, like I said, it's our commitment to trying to be more open and accountable.
Is that like Canada wide or specifically?
Canada wide, it's slowly sort of rolling out, like Yellowknife Detachment already has it.
Yeah.
Some of my members have it and are using it. And the rest of us will be getting the training right at the beginning of April. So you'll probably see just about every single member in Inuvik have it, and then across the territory in stages too. But
Okay, well, that's cool.
yeah. So we all have the same body worn camera. So a lot of police forces use the same one here. So it's not recording our phones. Thank you for walking that around. I did the steps. I should have done that myself. The thing that I'd like to point out from last month, and it's something that, you know, we're committed to doing here, is that proactive work. And it's not always the big flashy SWAT team drug bust. It can be something as simple as those proactive foot patrols. For example, what I wrote in here about the proactive foot patrols we do in the Nova Apartment building. And I know it's made the media, and I know rightfully so, residents and people are concerned about crime there. And we are committed that no matter where you live, here in Inuvik, that you feel safe. So we up our foot patrols in that building. And one of the positive things that come of that is that we stumbled across somebody who shouldn't be there. Who was there for no good, basically. And they were on court order conditions and breaching those. So we were able to arrest and charge them for that. And they were remanded into custody and they're down at NSCC. So that's one less person in that building in the short term. Hopefully that will cause issues. So we don't often see that or hear about that, but those, I firmly believe that sometimes those seemingly little things can help lead to a safer community. So outside of that, you guys are busy. I know lots of things going on in the world right now that I'm sure will affect Inuvik as the rest of the Canada. So I won't take too much of your time, but always open to questions, comments, and concerns.
I got one.
Sure.
I was talking to, I can't remember who I was talking to, but like, I've done it many times, especially in the winter time. You see somebody stumbling on the highway, you know damn well if they've had too much to drink or whatever. And I've called it in, assuming members are gonna go pick that person up, get them into a warm place or whatever. I've heard that you guys don't do that anymore. Is that true?
So I think there's probably a bit of confusion. So we try not to take those individuals back to cells. So unless you're committing a crime, often intoxicated people, the best spots not our cells.
Mhm.
It's a last resort. So if they were going to freeze to death and there's nowhere else they could go, then absolutely. It could be simple as taking them to the hospital, if that's depending on their intoxication level, the warming shelter, a friend's place. So absolutely not. That's still our business when you're concerned that someone's gonna, or they're out in a pathway at the ITH and you think, what's going on here? Absolutely, that's someone's well-being, and we will definitely go. The sort of transition over the last number of years, and rightfully so, is we try not to take those individuals to our CMP cells unless there's no other option.
Right. No, I just assumed that you pick them up, take them home, just make sure.
That's exactly, absolutely.
You know,
That's our first.
I wasn't insinuating they should go to jail.
Yeah,
You don't want somebody end up dead in the morning because.
Absolutely. No, I don't want anybody in the community of Inuvik to think that we would not respond to that.
Okay.
Absolutely we would. That's your concern for somebody's safety.
Okay, well, that's great. That's the only thing that I was kind of in the back of my mind I wanted to mention. So.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Councillor Parrott has a.
Oh, get your mic, Councillor Lemieux. Councillor Parrott.
Thanks for your monthly report as always. It's really great to see that section that you've added specific to community events. And I just wanted to express some positive words with regards to the presence of Officer Daryl who was the judge at the science fair today. It's great to see police in uniform being responsive to community activities and presenting a really positive opportunity to enhance relationships within the community, especially with the K-12 population. So well done.
Well, thank you, Councillor, for mentioning that. I know, when we were asking people to go to that, the members were lining up fighting to go, so Daryl won that one, and, I've got a great crew here that likes to be part of the community, so anytime invites, if we can do it, we'll definitely try to do it, so thank you for acknowledging that.
Any other questions, comments from councillors? I just had one, their last council meeting, we had a couple elders from the Bertha Allen residents come in. And they were stating, complaining about people who don't live in the building, getting into the building. And then drinking drugs, everything in the entranceway in the public areas. And that, when they've gone to the building caretaker, the caretaker said, well, you call the police because they won't come when I call them, which doesn't seem like that would quite be right. Probably bad advice for one thing if you're the building caretaker, but is that a place where do you know that you have got calls in the past, or is that a regular stop for members?
Well, we have had calls there in the past,
Okay.
and I can definitely get you sort of a snapshot of the last few months on how many calls we do get there. But I would urge, anybody, whether it's the Nova Apartments or wherever, same with that, call us.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be shy to call us. Again, doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna go there and solve everything, but oftentimes just our presence alone.
Yeah.
Can help solve the problem. And again, I go back to, I don't want people being shy to call us, and we should be called. That's what we're here for. It's if people aren't feeling comfortable or safe, and if you're talking about drinking and drugs in public areas, that's definitely something we should be called about by anyone.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to call us.
Okay, no, that's great. Okay, no further comments, questions? Thanks again for the report. The report is great, and we really appreciate getting that each month, and it's a great snapshot of what's happening. The numbers sometimes are a little alarming, that there's that many calls and that, but that's what it is, so, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, that's a great, I can get those statistics. If there's anything else I can share that anybody sort of wants, that's maybe not in the report. I don't mind emailing and sharing what I can, so anything to sort of share what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Item number 5, public question period. I think we're safe on that one. Yeah. Okay, moving along, adoption of the minutes, 6-1 minutes for the February 24th council meeting. Moved by Councilor Lemieux, second by Councilor McDonald. Any questions, omissions, corrections? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carried.
Yeah.
Action items from 7-1 action items. We went through those the other night. Additional action item we may have was a question about the hot tub. We have our director Daniel here to answer that question.
Yes, I actually just sent a text as soon as I want to. So they are working on getting it fixed up. We have about 5 issues currently with the hot tub. The jet, the chlorinator, the controls, and I just sent it to you. I know it's 5. So yeah. And we have 2 of those already in town to be installed. One of them would require the actual people from down south to fly up. So we're trying to schedule that. They're saying they'll give us a schedule within the next couple of weeks to come up to get that done. That's the controls. For the chlorinator, we have spoken to our as and when contractor for plumbing, and they have committed to going to do that tomorrow. But even with that, we probably still won't be able to have the hot tub running for a couple of weeks until the jets and the pump. There's also a leak, but the issue with the pump is something that can also be fixed by the local contractor. But we'll see where we're at by the end of tomorrow. But I think we're still a couple weeks out.
Okay, so we meet in a couple of weeks. We meet in a couple of weeks, so we'll check in with you and see whether that's all happened then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great, thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Nothing else on the boat launch. The boat launch, we're having a meeting tomorrow at noon. People that have been coming to that meeting, and hopefully we can get a few things moving. There's been a few funding places that we will be applying for funds, so we'll make a plan for this year and probably a plan for next year. Okay. Item number 8.1, tender award for the playground assessment and rehab. And so just need a motion to get that on the floor, moved by Deputy Mayor Barlick, seconded by Councilor Lemieux. Further discussion on this?
But
Right, then.
again, with the boat launch thing, with the meeting coming up, can we mention something with Boot Lake and beautifying that area to intense and maybe get the kids out there more
Yeah. Are you
instead of
meaning?
going to the river so much?
Okay. So you mean the other end of Boot Lake where there was a little bit of a beach?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, no, we can, it would be a good item we can send to the infrastructure committee, just to have a discussion on that, so we'll flag that, for that, and then, yeah. The infrastructure committee can have a discussion, and then if we get a Inuvik Works going, that would be a great project for that crew to, be able to do some work on there, and we could probably get a load or two of sand from somewhere like we did years ago.
Nice.
Back when they were doing Hick Hill, I think, is where some of that sand came from. Okay, no, good point.
There is a playground there as well.
Yeah.
And that'll be added on the assessment when they're doing the assessment as well, so they've also accommodations.
Perfect.
Okay, well, now that we're on that topic, sorry, is there any way, like, if we're gonna do something down there, is there any way that we could do some landscaping along the beach? Because it's such a draw, like, it's actually not really that user friendly. It is a way to actually, carve that down. I mean, Kurt can go down there in like 3 hours, 4 hours or a day, and maybe do something there to make it a little more user friendly for swimmers, because it's only a really tiny area of that beach you can actually use comfortably, right?
It's
Just a
not-
thought, just throwing it out there since we're talking.
Yeah, no,
Awesome.
you're on that committee, so, be sure to bring that up when that's raised, and we can see what could be done, because it does drop off.
Mhm.
Okay. Any further discussion on 8.1, the playground assessment? No, I'm not. Any further discussions on 8.1? All those in favor? Motion carried. 9.1. Now, so are we doing
Second.
second and third reading, and we can have the same mover and seconders for both? For both, so moved by Counselor McDonald, second by Counselor Day for second reading and third reading. Any further discussion on this? It's pretty straightforward. It's basically changing the zoning on the cemetery.
Yeah.
All those in favor of both motions, second
Yes.
and third?
Yes.
Motion
Yes.
carried. Thanks. Any new, yeah, we don't do item number 10, item number 11, any new information items? Okay, the only update I had, further update. I think I mentioned, on Monday that the town had been in discussions with a dentist. Who is looking at opening up in the, old learning center across from Home Hardware. Had a message from them today. They were meeting to finalize the lease and also finalizing the equipment list. So that's moving along. So hopefully that will go as scheduled. The material will get up here and he should be open in July.
Right on, that's good.
Good news.
Mhm.
Okay, any other information items? Any new council concerns that we didn't discuss Monday?
No, I don't think.
We don't need to go in camera. Anything else from staff? Motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilor McDonald,